Samantha, and today is the 3-month update. I just can't believe it. I say that every video, I think. She is 3 months old today. It's crazy. So as far as postpartum goes, I'm doing wonderfully. I feel great. The only time I feel any different than my normal self is when I walk too much. If I walk too strenuously or walk too far, I will get some sort of pelvic discomfort. Other than that, I feel pretty much back to normal. I still have a pudge. It's just definitely noticeable. I feel, a lot more baggy skin down where my belly is. I'm not super concerned about that. I'm not super concerned about the discomfort that I get every once in a while. The only thing that I've found concerning is I'm having the postpartum hair loss, and it's more breakage than actually losing a lot of hair. I do feel like I'm losing more hair than normal, but that part doesn't really bother me since I have such thick hair. But I'm getting a ton of breakage, like on this part, like on the sides here, there's like shorter strands. I just really notice like my hairline here, because these are all super duper short now, but my hairline's getting a little bit wonky. So I've really noticed that. Now my hair is funky. And it's really that my hair is dry and brittle, and I have been using a really moisturizing shampoo, and I've even been conditioning a lot of times, and it's not helping at all. Like, nothing's helping at all. That's the only bothersome symptom that I've been having personally. Other than that, I feel great. So as for Olivia, she is doing wonderfully, and I really feel like this last month, she and I have gotten on some sort of routine. I feel like we're two peas in a pod now. Things are going really, really well, and I'm just totally embracing and loving motherhood. Even the hard times now are just wonderful. I get up in the middle of the night and I think for a second, gosh, this stinks. And then I just look down at her and I'm just filled with love and love every single moment of it. I'm in a really good place with the motherhood stuff, and I'm really just so thankful that she's here. About a year ago now is when we conceived, so I'm just looking back, thinking about that year, and I'm just so thankful that she's doing so well now. It's just every day I'm so thankful that she's totally healthy, and then every day I'm thankful that she sleeps. Now, speaking of sleep, I've mentioned it a few times. She is still sleeping in her swing. We are transitioning her out of it now, but at night she usually wakes me up 1 to 2 times, and that is it. It's so nice. It's been a little bit weird the last few nights because for like 2.5 to 3 weeks she was waking me up just 1 time a night, and now she's back to waking me up 2 times a night. She usually goes to bed sometime around 9 to 10 p.m., then wakes up 10 to 11 a.m. So she sleeps really late, and also her times can vary quite a bit. Sometimes she's as early as maybe 8:30 to 8:45, and she can be as late as midnight going to bed. What we've been trying to do now, and I have only had to wake her up 1 time, but I've been waking her up at 8 p.m. I don't want her to sleep past 8 p.m. because if she sleeps past 8 p.m. she won't go to bed before 10 p.m. and I want her to be in bed around 10 p.m. She stays awake about 2 hours at each wake period, which has been working great. She doesn't seem to get overtired. She goes to nap really nicely, and her naps still vary completely. Her shortest nap is about 50 minutes, and then her longest naps can be 4 hours. It just really depends on her. And like I said, the only times I think about waking her up is that 8 p.m. mark, and that's just been in this last week that we've started trying to do that, and we've only woken her up 1 time. So for the longest time, she would whimper or flat out cry during going to bed, and now she doesn't do that. And I totally know now that it was just her way of communicating. It wasn't a bad thing, because now she babbles and talks when she goes to bed. It is just non-stop. Usually around 5 to 10 minutes, she will just babble, like non-stop babbling, squealing, happy sounding things, and she's totally happy at the time, but this is how she goes to sleep. Totally falls in line with what I thought before, is she just has to cry. It's just something she needed to do. It was an actual need of hers. She has to cry before she goes to sleep, but I felt completely terrible knowing that my baby had to cry to go to sleep, but there was nothing we could do. We tried everything to try to get her not to cry for sleep. And now she doesn't cry, she talks. So it was just her way of communicating and talking and getting out this energy. My maternal instincts were definitely right that there was nothing wrong with her, but we had to just let her cry sometimes. And she puts herself to sleep like that. So definitely she talks a lot. Even not for sleep. She's talking like all day long. She makes all sorts of sounds, and she likes to coo a lot. She giggles and she smiles and she laughs, and she's just so full of sounds and so loud. Her latest thing is squealing and screeching. So she just does that so much of the time now. She'll just constantly be making these high-pitched squealy sounds, and they're so cute, and I still just crack up listening to her. And she cracks herself up with it sometimes. She'll squeal and then smile, or squeal and then let out a little giggle. So she knows she's funny. Like, it's the funniest thing. This last month she has just developed her own little personality. She clearly likes certain things. She clearly doesn't like certain things. And I just am constantly smiling and giggling with her. And it's just so much fun. I just can't believe how fun it is. Like, before having her, I was still thinking, 3-month-olds are still newborns, and some are, some aren't this interactive yet, but she definitely is. So I talked about her starting to laugh. I did post a video of her big laugh session. She's done that a few times, but usually it's just like 1 or 2 giggles here and there. And she has been consistently being able to roll from her belly to her back, but she doesn't do it all the time. She does enjoy tummy time, so she'll just sit on her tummy and play with her little toy and enjoy herself. So she only rolls over when she really wants to now, whereas when she was first starting to roll over, I think it was just because her head is so big and heavy, it would force her to roll over. Now it's more of a conscious effort type of thing. And just in the last couple of days, she has started trying to roll over from her back to her tummy, and she doesn't get all the way over. If she gets over at all, it's up to her side, and then she'll just stop there. She never makes it all the way over to her belly. So another thing she likes is she likes being upright. So I'll just hold her standing up or hold her sitting up, and she just loves that. She loves being like that. She does not like being in the cradle position unless she's eating. So I can't just like hold her and cradle her at all. She'll get super fussy with that. So breastfeeding is going wonderfully. She's definitely getting more efficient. Her breastfeeding times are not as long, but she's still eating pretty much the same frequency. It's just she's not eating as long of a period of time, so I feel like I'm not breastfeeding constantly. And I finally, this month, feel like my breast milk is regulated a little bit. Everything I read online said 4 to 6 weeks, your breast milk will start regulating and you'll feel less engorged, and I was not feeling less engorged. I think about week 10, I started to feel more comfortable at night and I wasn't getting so engorged, and it really depends on the night. Some nights I'll feel comfortable all the way through the night. Some nights I'll still wake up feeling engorged. I talked about we're transitioning her out of the swing. We are also working on transitioning her out of the swaddle. She has been breaking loose of the swaddle. We've only had her arms swaddled, but she's been breaking out of it. It seems like every time she's awake, her arms are up here. So right now we have her where she just has one arm swaddled, and the next step will be get both arms out, but you still wrap it around her stomach. We're just working on getting rid of it. So far, the one arm swaddle seems to be working really well. It seems like she can't get enough force to break out of it as easily. So she only breaks out of it every once in a while, versus pretty much every time she would wake up, she was having both of her arms out, or at least got one arm loose. She's fine in her car seat now. She won't cry when we're getting into the car, and she has a little mirror that she can look at, and she started looking at herself in the mirror. Oh, she loves looking at herself in the mirror. I'll hold her next to the mirrors, and she just loves looking at herself. And I turn my phone camera so you can see yourself in the phone. She just loves seeing herself, so I'll snap photos of her that way. It's just the cutest thing. She doesn't really cry hardly ever anymore. She'll cry if she's really uncomfortable. And the one time, without a doubt, she cries, and it's definitely a hungry cry, is in the middle of the night when she first wakes up. Some of the time I go ahead and change her diaper right as I'm getting her up, and she will cry every time with that. But I hate her sitting in her wet diaper while she eats, so I usually just change her that as soon as I get her up. But she cries, so Some of the times I just leave her in her diaper and then feed her, then change her. Every time with that, she will start to cry. And it's definitely not like a full-blown cry. It's just enough that I don't want to listen to it. I don't want her crying at all. I know she's just hungry at that point because she's just waking up from a long sleep. It's like a no-win situation. Either I change her and put her in a dry diaper immediately and she'll cry and be hungry a little bit longer, or I'll leave her in her wet diaper, which is kind of nasty, and feed her, which is what she wants. I alternate which one I do because neither one I really like that much. I keep hoping that she'll get to the point where she will know, you know, after I change your diaper, you're gonna eat, so she won't cry and she won't be fussy, but right now she's still crying. So as far as likes and dislikes, like I said, she does not like being in the cradle position. She'll be in that position for eating and that is it. And she will not have it otherwise. She does have a lot of likes. She's starting to like her tummy time. She really enjoys books, and there's certain books that she really likes. She did something really funny last night, actually. My husband was reading her books, and you know, we just get like a little stack of her books and read them, and she was great until we got to this certain book that she loves. It's called Bubbles Bubbles, and it's a baby Sesame Street book. We got it at the Dollar Tree, and she absolutely loves this book. So when he read that, she starts squealing and smiling and laughing and giggling and having a great time. And then when the book was over, he set it aside and grabbed a different book. And as soon as he did, she turned and looked where he set the Bubbles book. And then when he started reading the next book, she started getting fussy, whimpering, fussing around, kicking, squealing, but not happy squeals, and looked at the book. So he got the Bubbles book back and started reading it again, and again she's cooing and laughing and having a good time. So she clearly wanted the Bubbles book back and did not want any other book after that. No other book would do. It was the funniest thing. I could not believe she had such a clear preference. I definitely knew she liked this Bubbles book because she does laugh and get excited with it, but I didn't realize how much she loves this book. She wouldn't want any other book after we read that one. So we're going to have to set that one aside, read the other books first, then read the Bubbles book so that she doesn't get upset when we start reading the other books, because she was fine until that book came out. She also really likes singing and she really likes listening to music. So I'll just turn on some music sometimes. I'll sing to her with the music, and I also sing things like ABCs, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, The Itsy Bitsy Spider, all those little songs. And she loves those. If I start singing those, she'll just give me a big huge grin and sometimes giggle. She's just so cute. I just love her little smile and it just warms my heart. Anyway, the other thing she really likes is watching the dogs. She'll watch them walk around the room, and if she's sitting upright, you can watch her head. She'll follow the dogs around the room. And also, when I put them out to potty, I'll stand us in the doorway or outside if it's shady enough, and she'll just watch them go across the yard. You'll just follow them with her eyes and just stare at them, and it's just the cutest thing. I say everything that she does is the cutest thing, but it is. Everything she does is so cute to me. But she just loves looking at them. But she doesn't really interact with them yet. They love her and they'll like lick the top of her head, and Maya, our border collie mix, tries to lick her face, and I have to get on to her about trying to get too close to her face. They know they're not supposed to get close to her face, and she does it anyway because she's just so interested. There's not a lot of interaction between the two. I'm waiting for that when she realizes that if she does something, they'll react, and I can't wait for that. As far as her going to the bathroom, she's still peeing all the time, but she is not having as many bowel movements. She's having a couple of bowel movements every other day. So it's like one day she won't have any bowel movements, the next day she'll have 2 or 3 bowel movements in the day, and they're getting a little bit less runny, which is nice. And I am filming a cloth diaper update today, so I'll let you guys know how that's going. We finally have the diapering figured out. I'm happy with where we are in the diapering. We're not having leaks hardly ever. If we do, it's a poopy leak every once in a while, and I'm a lot happier that her poop is every other day. I'm not constantly, you know, changing her with a poopy diaper every time she eats. Sorry, I'm in a rolly chair. But the only thing with that is she's having some more gas with that, and she's also stinky. Her farts are stinky, and then her bowel movements are stinky. So it's definitely a trade-off. I'm not having to deal with poop all the time, but when I do, it's stinky. The things you talk about as a mom, you don't have any shame whatsoever about talking about all sorts of things. Actually, she's waking up on the monitor. I'm almost done anyway, but I'm gonna go ahead and go get her and finish up this video. This little one just woke up, so I'm not sure how well she's gonna do, but I only have a couple of things to talk about now. I've got the viewfinder flipped up so she can see herself. You see herself? Who is that beautiful baby? Who is that beautiful baby in there? Yeah, that's you. That's you, baby. I was hoping she might squeak, but I've got some footage I'll insert if she doesn't do her squealing thing. Definitely want to hear you. I definitely want you guys to hear her noises that she makes. So, Olivia weighs about 15 pounds. We don't go back to the doctor until next month, so I just kind of estimated on our scale by holding her and then stepping off, by holding her and then weighing just myself. And so she's about 15 pounds. So she's having a good time in here. See all the pretty colors? And then my weight is about 166 to 168. So it just fluctuates in that range. One of the things I wanted to mention was she is now out of most of the 3-month clothes, especially like the 3-month sleeper onesie type of outfits. She is just way too long for those. She can still fit in some of the regular onesies, but they're starting to get to where they're a little too tight too. So she's mostly in 6-month clothes now, and she's fitting in those really nicely. She's still not very round. She's still got some bagginess in the outfits, like this one's even a little bit baggy. Man, she really is looking around. You can tell she's just so curious. You see the wall? Ooh, it must be pretty. Must be pretty. And the other thing I wanted to mention is she is grasping at a lot of stuff now. She just wants to look at that wall. You see yourself in there? Look up there. Who is that baby? Who is that baby? Who is that baby? No, it's you. It's you, baby. So she's grasping at toys really well. She's starting to reach out for things more and grab the things she means to grab. That's you. Who is it, baby? And that's pretty much it. She's been grabbing things. If you put it near her, she'll pretty much grab it now, if she's interested especially. There's certain toys where she will just grab them as soon as she sees them. Turn around. You're so funny. Now that's a good point. Now that she turned around, she rubs the hair off of this part of her head when she naps. Before she goes to bed, she'll do her noises, and then she'll just sit there and go like this, back and forth a few times. And I've read online that a lot of babies do that. It's a comfort thing. She definitely enjoys that a lot. Oh, and there's a burp. And that is it for this update. That's all I wanted to talk about with this little one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up for cute little babies and baby updates, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos. That is it. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye. Who is that cute baby? Who is it? Who is it? Who is that baby? He's so funny. Oh, you're so cute. Do you know? Do you know how cute you are? Who is that? Who is that? That's you, baby. You're funny. Who's a funny baby? You are.